Caleb's childhood friend tore up my acceptance letter to Cambridge. Before I could say a word, Caleb defended her. Chloe apologized. What more do you want? It's just a piece of paper. The electronic record is still there, right? It's not like it affects your admission. Is it worth getting this upset over? I swallowed the lump in my throat and broke up with him. He just laughed, completely unconcerned. How many times is this now? 7, 8. Aren't you tired of this breakup game? He didn't understand. This time, it was for real. The moment I found out Chloe had torn up my acceptance letter, my mind exploded. Everything went blank. Chloe was crying, apologizing, saying she was just so upset and angry at herself for being useless, and she didn't realize what she was tearing until it was too late. She said it wasn't on purpose, that her emotions got the better of her and her hands moved faster than her brain. Rage filled my chest. No matter how emotional you were, how could you forget this wasn't yours? Besides, who gave you permission to open it? Why are you opening my mail? Why do you get to see my acceptance letter before I do? Chloe, say one more time that it wasn't on purpose. Caleb came out of the bathroom, frowning as he rolled up his sleeves. It's just a piece of paper. Is it really worth fighting over? A piece of paper? No. It was thousands of practice tests, tens of thousands of problems, and over 1,000 days of sweat. He patted my head, completely dismissive. All right, don't get angry over something so small. What did he mean? Small. My chest heaved. I was even angrier. I told Chloe to piece the letter back together and to apologize to me publicly on her social media, but she just rolled her eyes and jumped to Caleb's side, clinging to his arm. Caleb, your girlfriend is so mean. She's bullying me just because you like her. Caleb's brow furrowed in displeasure. Chloe already apologized. What more do you want? It's just an acceptance letter. The electronic record is still there, right? It's not like it affects your admission. Is it worth getting this upset over? Ava, don't use my feelings for you as an excuse to bully Chloe. She's like a sister to me. I looked at Caleb, a sharp pain piercing my heart. He was always like this. No matter what horrible thing Chloe did to me, he always thought it was nothing. If I showed the slightest bit of dissatisfaction, he would accuse me of bullying her. My chest felt so tight I couldn't breathe, and tears started to fall. For the first time, I cried in front of him without any semblance of dignity. Caleb, that was my acceptance letter. He looked at me, his frown deepening, his eyes filled with disdain. Control your emotions. You look terrible when you're hysterical. I froze. I suddenly felt so ridiculous. I had actually hoped he would care about my emotions, consider my feelings. I suddenly felt so drained. I wiped away my tears, suppressed a sob, and took a deep breath. Caleb, let's break up. Caleb was taken aback. He stuck his hands in his pockets and looked down at me, his eyes cold and scrutinizing. Break up. A faint, mocking smile touched his lips. In your current state, any major decision you make is laughable. How many times have you broken up with me now? The 7th, the 8th. His eyes grew darker, his voice colder. Ava, I'm tired of this breakup game. Even if you're not, I'll be waiting for your apology. His face was cold as he turned and walked away with Chloe. I crouched down and picked up the pieces, one by one, and taped them back together on my wall. A constant reminder to never, ever look back. This time, we were really broken up. The next day was the graduation party. I didn't go. The class president called to ask why. In the noisy background, Chloe's voice was crystal clear. Caleb, is Ava still mad at me? Is that why she's not here? She's not really going to break up with you, is she? Caleb, should I apologize to her again? I don't want to ruin your relationship. Caleb scoffed, his voice confident. How could she bear to break up with me? Who could she find better than me? For someone from her social class, meeting me, being liked by me, is the best thing that could have ever happened to her. You don't need to worry about her. She can come if she wants. Someone asked. Caleb, what if Ava is serious this time? Caleb paused. There was the sound of a glass shattering. Sorry, my hand slipped. I don't care if she's serious or not. I'm not short of women. If she's gone, I'll just get a new girlfriend. Everyone laughed. That's our Caleb, someone said admiringly. If you're going to choose a girlfriend, it should be someone as sweet and lovely as the campus queen. Right. Another person chimed in. Yeah, I think our campus queen and Caleb are a perfect match. Chloe acted shy. You guys, stop talking nonsense. The class president sounded awkward and quickly hung up. I stared at my phone, stunned. Tears dripped onto the screen. So that's how he saw me. In his eyes, I was just a social climber with an agenda, trying to use him to move up in the world. That's why I would always give in. Why I would never really break up with him. Why I would always come back. And all those times I had given in, compromised because I couldn't bear to lose the relationship, were, in his eyes, just more proof of my ulterior motives. I suddenly started to laugh, laughing until tears streamed down my face. So that's what I was in his eyes. My love was so cheap in his eyes. I was the one who had loved the wrong person. I opened my phone and went to Caleb's mother's chat. Auntie, I accept your offer. 500,000. I will disappear from your son's world completely. Mrs. Hayes replied quickly, cold, decisive. Done. I collapsed onto my bed. Tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision. After Mrs. Hayes found out about Caleb and me, she had approached me more than once. She started with 5,000, then 10, 20, 50, and finally, 500,000. She would spare no expense to get me to leave her son. But I didn't love Caleb because he was the heir to the Hayes Corporation, and certainly not for the money. I loved him because we shared the same passion, the same aspirations and goals. We both loved physics, we were both drawn to its world, and we both aimed to get into the physics department at Cambridge. I loved the focused look on his face when he was lost in the world of physics. I loved how he could solve a difficult physics problem with such ease. I loved the way his eyes sparkled when he praised my quick thinking. I loved him. I really did. In all my teenage dreams, he was the hero. Even though the vast gap in our family backgrounds meant we were doomed, I was content just to have loved him. I cherished this relationship. It was something no amount of money could buy. That's why, no matter how many times we broke up, my heart would always soften, and I would always go back, to the point where everyone, including Caleb, was convinced I would never leave him. A wave of bitterness washed over me. It made me cry until I couldn't breathe. I thought he was sincere too, that he was with me because he admired me, because he liked me, but it turned out, he was just playing with me, just playing a game called love. I don't know how long I slept. When I opened my eyes, I saw over a dozen missed calls on my phone, all from Caleb. Before I could react, he called again. My groggy mind instinctively answered. He was silent for a moment. Then his voice was light and breezy, finally answered. And pretty quickly too. It's just an acceptance letter. What's the big deal? Is it worth getting this upset over? The Hayes family has connections in the admissions office. They can reissue it. Just say something nice to me, and I'll take care of it. His tone was relaxed, confident. My chest tightened. What did he take me for? A canary in a cage to be toyed with. He had never treated me as an equal, never cared about my feelings. I took a deep breath and spoke calmly. That won't be necessary. We've already broken up. I don't want to owe you anything. Like you said, I don't need the letter to enroll. Let's just leave it at that. Mrs. Hayes's 500,000 was more than enough compensation for the letter. I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. I heard a sharp intake of breath on the other end. Then Caleb laughed, annoyed. How long is it this time? 3 days, a week, or 10? Ava, the boy who cried wolf gets old. I'm running out of patience. Are you sure you want to keep this up? You know there are a lot of girls chasing after me, right? Ava, I can't wait for you for too long. Click. He hung up without waiting for my reply, convinced that this would make me anxious, that I would be the one to crawl back and beg him to take me back. Even though I was determined to let go of this relationship, his words still stung. My chest felt heavy. I had to take several deep breaths to calm down. Involuntary tears streamed down my face, cold against my skin. Every time we fought over Chloe, if I got really angry and ignored him, he would use this tactic, and it worked every time. It would always make me terrified, afraid that a fight would be the end of us. But this time, I closed my eyes. Not again, Caleb. This time, I won't be anxious. I won't be the one to give in. I blocked all of Caleb's social media accounts, to reassure Mrs. Hayes. I even posted a breakup anniversary status. Happy breakup. I will be happy forever. Moving forward, not looking back. I closed my social media and was about to start packing when a screenshot and a livestream link started circulating like wildfire in the class group chat. The screenshot was of my post. The livestream was of the campus queen, Chloe, confessing her feelings to Caleb, in front of a romantic carousel. Chloe, her face flushed with a hopeful blush, asked Caleb if he would be her boyfriend. Caleb was looking down at his phone, his expression dark and irritated, his face growing grimmer by the second. Chloe looked so hurt she was about to cry. Caleb, don't be mad. I won't confess anymore. Okay, Caleb, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Caleb ignored her and started making a call. It didn't go through. His face darkened even more. He took Chloe's phone and tried again. The next moment, my phone rang. I froze. I wanted to decline, but my finger slipped and I answered. Caleb's voice was heavy. Ava, you've got some nerve. Blocking me. My voice was calm. Since we've broken up, we should make a clean break. He narrowed his eyes, his voice even colder. Didn't I say the letter could be reissued? Are you really going to throw away our entire relationship over something so small? Small. I almost laughed. In his eyes, my feelings, my affairs, were all trivial matters. Even something as life-changing as an acceptance letter to Cambridge was, in his eyes, a trivial matter. I shouldn't have made a fuss, I shouldn't have been angry, and I certainly shouldn't have thrown a tantrum and broken up with him. I wanted to scream at him, but my nose was burning, and my throat was tight. I couldn't get a single word out. Chloe was still looking at him anxiously, waiting. The people around them were all shouting for him to say yes. Caleb's lips curved into a sneer. His voice was teasing. Ava, if you just apologize nicely, I won't hold this breakup against you. And I won't say yes to Chloe. You'll still be my girlfriend. I tilted my head back, took a breath, and was about to answer when my phone buzzed with a notification. Credit of $500,000 to your account ending in 7876. I stared, counting the zeros several times. 6 zeros, 7 figures. Mrs. Hayes was so afraid I would go back on my word that she had transferred the money immediately. She was worrying for nothing. Once I see something clearly, once I make up my mind, I never look back. I closed my eyes, let out a slow breath, and said firmly, no, Caleb, this time, we're really broken up. Please, don't ever bother me again. I hung up before he could reply. For the first time ever, I was the one to hang up on him. I looked down and blocked Chloe's number too. On the screen, Caleb tried to call again, but it didn't go through. He laughed in disbelief. Then he looked at Chloe. Chloe, you like me? Chloe nodded, stunned. Caleb's eyes were unreadable, his voice calm. All right then, you can be my girlfriend. He held her head and leaned in to kiss her. With his other hand, he took a picture with his phone. Let's use this to announce it, he said. Chloe's face was flushed, a mix of excitement and shyness. She happily agreed. The people in the livestream didn't know who he had been talking to or what he had said. They just thought he had finally said yes to Chloe. A wave of cheers erupted. The campus queen finally got him. They're so perfect together. So much better than that bookworm Ava. Hope Caleb stays away from social, climbing gold diggers and lives happily ever after with the campus queen, who's actually in his league. Yes, I wasn't pretty, I wasn't fashionable, and I didn't come from a good family. I wasn't good enough for Caleb. I used to think that too, but now, seeing that kiss, my chest felt like it was filled with icicles, piercing my lungs. Something so intimate was also something you could do with your so-called sister. I suddenly thought, Caleb is so dirty. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough for him. It was that he wasn't good enough for me. I was about to turn off my phone when the class group chat exploded again. The class president, Maya, had tagged Caleb in the group. I really can't stand to see you two let this misunderstanding get any bigger. Caleb, I called Ava during the party the other day. She heard everything you guys said. That's probably why she's so angry. Caleb, please don't do anything rash right now. In the livestream, Caleb was standing in front of Chloe. He froze. The crowd fell silent. The class president had always been respected. No one dared to accuse her of meddling. I was stunned. I never expected Maya to get involved. But my conflict with Caleb wasn't just about the party. No matter what, it was over between us. I sent Maya a private message, thanking her and reiterating my decision to break up. Maya didn't believe me. You like him so much. You've broken up so many times but could never let him go. This time can't be real either. Don't let your pride make you lose him for good. Chloe is just waiting for a chance to swoop in. I didn't reply, holding my phone. I sighed. I did like him a lot, countless times in the past. I had been afraid of regretting it, so I had been the one to give in and get back together. But now, I was sure, even if I might regret it, I didn't want to go back, because I didn't want to like him anymore. I threw my phone on the bed and collapsed, my mind a whirlwind of memories of our time together. They became clearer, then faded. I drifted off to sleep. When I woke up, it was the next afternoon. I reached out and caught the afternoon sun. The exhaustion was gone after a long sleep, replaced by a sense of lightness. It felt like my entanglement with Caleb had happened a long time ago. I took a deep breath and gave the house a thorough cleaning. I packed up everything Caleb had given me and put it in a storage box. Even though it was all either luxury brands or custom made, I didn't spare it a second glance. Maya sent me another message. It was a screenshot of Caleb's and Chloe's social media posts. Caleb had posted, "It's all a misunderstanding. Chloe had posted, "Caleb and I are not together. Everyone, please don't misunderstand." I ignored it. Whatever was going on with them had nothing to do with me anymore. I spent a few days in quiet solitude. Caleb didn't try to find me with a new number. A few days later, the school announced the date for the graduation photos. It had been postponed due to some issues at the school. I arrived early, but Caleb was even earlier. He was standing by the flower bed at the school gate, as if waiting for someone. It certainly wasn't me. He glanced at me briefly, then looked away. In the past, whenever we broke up, the sight of him ignoring me would always make me miserable. I would always be the one to go up to him, tug on his sleeve, and apologize. But this time, I felt nothing. I turned and walked in the opposite direction, but he suddenly walked towards me and grabbed my wrist. "I forgive you." I was confused. What? His eyes were dark, his lips set in a stiff line, an air of reluctance about him. "I forgive you for breaking up with me. I don't blame you." I frowned and pulled my hand away. This was so strange. I gave a faint, "Oh," then thought for a moment and said, "It's okay. Let's just part on good terms." The air around him instantly chilled. He stood there in front of me, silent. After a moment, he said, "I know you're still mad about the party." He handed me a black credit card. "Take this and buy whatever you want. Vent all your anger." He sighed, as if it was a great effort for him to be so magnanimous. He said resignedly, "Is that good enough for you? You only break up with me to get my attention anyway, to make me give in and comfort you. Are you satisfied now?" He took my hand and started walking towards the photo shoot location. As we walked, he said, "Ava, I hate being controlled, so this is the first and last time. If you ever play the breakup game again to get attention, I will leave immediately, and we will never get back together." He was so sure I had never thought of really leaving him, that I was just throwing a tantrum and waiting for him to give in. I was speechless. I almost laughed. I pushed the card back into his hand. I wanted to scream at him that I didn't need his card, that I just didn't want him anymore, that I had even taken 500,000 from his mother to end things for good. But I held back. Someone as proud as Caleb, if he knew that not only did I not want him, but I had also taken money from his mother to buy my freedom, he would feel his feelings had been insulted. I didn't want to hurt him that much. I took a deep breath and explained patiently, "Caleb, I really do want to break up with you, so it's not a game, it's not a tantrum, and it's certainly not me waiting for you to comfort me. Let's just leave it at this. A clean break." He was stunned. After a moment, he narrowed his eyes in disbelief, his voice laced with amusement. "Ava, you're taking this a little too far." Chloe called to him from a distance, "Caleb, come on. It's time for the photo." Caleb turned, his eyes flicking over me. He said nonchalantly, "I'll give you one last chance. In 7 days, I'm flying to New Zealand with my family to take care of some business. I'll be back for the start of the semester. If you apologize to me before then, I'll forgive you." I ignored him and walked around him to the side of the group. He didn't know I had already bought a ticket to go skiing in the Chongbai Mountains. For 7 days from now, there was no way I was going to apologize to him. Caleb walked to the front of the group. Chloe waved for him to stand next to her, but the class president quietly urged him to go to me, hoping he would stand by my side. He glanced at me, then walked past me to stand next to Chloe. Chloe looked at me, a triumphant look in her eyes, then smiled sweetly and took Caleb's hand, their fingers intertwining. Caleb stiffened for a second, but he didn't pull away. In fact, he squeezed her hand tighter. The photographer in the distance exclaimed, "The top scholar and the campus queen look so good together." The classmates who wanted to see me humiliated all laughed. "Yeah, our Caleb and Chloe are the perfect match." I didn't care. I laughed along with them. I suddenly remembered the day my acceptance letter was torn up. I remembered Chloe's innocent expression and Caleb's instinctive defense of her. I laughed even harder. Yes, a perfect match. I wish them well. May they be locked together forever. But Caleb's face grew even darker. He let out a low, cold snort. He stood with his hands in his pockets, his face screaming, "I'm waiting for you to come crawling back to me." I didn't pay any more attention to Caleb, but news of him still reached me through various channels, as if someone was deliberately pushing it my way. The first day, he took Chloe to the amusement park and they rode the carousel. I had asked him to ride the carousel with me many times, but he always said it was childish and never agreed. The second day, he went to karaoke with Chloe, and they sang 100 romantic duets together, something he was never willing to do with me. The third day, Chloe posted a picture of a pink diamond ring with the caption, "Thank you, Caleb, for the big diamond ring." The comments were full of congratulations. Are the campus queen and Caleb getting together soon? Whoa. Isn't this basically an official announcement? Ah, Chloe finally got her wish. On the fourth day, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Caleb. His voice was slurred with drunkenness. Ava, can we stop fighting? Please, I shouldn't have said those hurtful things. Don't be mad anymore. Just say something nice, and we can get back together. Okay. I frowned and hung up. That night, I received a message from Chloe. She sent me a picture from an unknown number. A picture of Caleb sleeping, her finger gently poking his long eyelashes. I got his first time. By the way, I was instantly disgusted and ran to the bathroom, retching for a long time, until my stomach was in knots. I never believed in drunk and disorderly. Alcohol only reveals one's most primal desires. So, it was just a matter of mutual consent between them. I blocked the class president, left the class group chat, and deleted all my classmates' contact information. I never wanted to see or hear anything about Caleb again. On the seventh day, I was at the airport waiting for my flight when I ran into Caleb and his entourage, who were on their way to New Zealand. It wasn't just the Hayes family. His group of friends was there, as well as Chloe and her friends. They looked like a big group of friends going on vacation, all chummy and close. One of the girls in Chloe's group said, "See, Ava came after all. I told you she would follow when she found out Chloe was coming with Caleb. And some of you said she was serious this time. Look at you now." Caleb glanced at me. Knew it. Look in his eyes. I frowned. I had cut off all contact with them. I had no idea what they were talking about. This was so bizarre. I turned to go to the domestic terminal to get my boarding pass, but Caleb suddenly grabbed my wrist, still pouting. All right. I won't hold it against you. I bought you a ticket. We're even sitting together. One of his friends said disdainfully. TSK. After pretending for so many days, she still couldn't help but follow. I told you she would never let go of a meal ticket like Caleb. Caleb didn't stop them. He just looked down at me, as if he was sure that's what I was thinking, but he was magnanimously overlooking it. Chloe was also looking at me mockingly. I suddenly remembered the picture Chloe had sent me. A wave of annoyance and disgust washed over me. I no longer wanted to preserve even a shred of dignity for Caleb. I didn't care about his pride at all anymore. I just wanted to be completely free of him. I shook his hand off, took out my ticket, and held it up to him. I said, enunciating each word, "Look closely, I'm not going abroad with you. I have my own plans. Caleb, I broke up with you not for any other reason, but because I don't like you anymore. Do you understand? I even took the $500,000 your mom gave me as a breakup fee. $500,000, just your pocket money, to buy me out of this relationship I don't want. Do you hear me?" Caleb stared at the ticket, his pupils contracting. He turned to look at me, his face ashen. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. I took my ticket and was about to leave, but he chased after me and blocked my way. "Ava, you're lying, right?" I smirked. "If you don't believe me, go ask your mom." A flash of embarrassment and vulnerability crossed his face. He looked down, his hand gripping mine tightly, not letting me go. After a moment, he looked up, pulled me towards the international terminal, forceful and domineering. "It's okay. I won't hold it against you. We're back together. I'll take you on a graduation trip. Just the two of us." His jaw was tight, his jawline even more pronounced. I tried to pull my hand away with all my might. "Caleb, I don't like you anymore. We're broken up. Do you hear me?" He dragged me along, ignoring me completely. Over there, Chloe had been accidentally bumped by a traveler and had twisted her ankle. "Ah, it hurts." She pushed away the hands of her friends who tried to help her, looked at Caleb, and said loudly, "Caleb, it hurts so much. Can you take a look?" In the past, every single time, whether Caleb and I were on a date or in the middle of a fight, if Chloe needed something, he would always choose her first. I suddenly pulled my hand free and smirked. "You'd better go. Your precious little sister is in trouble again." He turned and looked down at me, not moving. His expression was heavy. "She has people with her. She doesn't need me." I scoffed. "Is that so? Then do as you please." He tried to grab my wrist as I left, but I suddenly turned, my words sharp. "We're broken up. Stop bothering me. Caleb, don't make me lose all respect for you." Caleb froze. He frowned, his expression dark and heavy. He didn't follow me again. I arrived at the foot of the Chongbai Mountains, rented equipment, hired a coach, and began my skiing journey. The snow on the ground flew past my goggles. It swept away my gloomy mood, and I felt a sense of lightness. Even when I fell and it hurt, it felt incredibly exhilarating. On the third day, I put on my gear as usual and met my coach at the ski resort. My usually chatty coach was unusually quiet today. I started skiing on my own. Even though it wasn't my first time, I was still not very skilled, and I fell. As expected, I closed my eyes, bracing for the impact of the snow, but someone suddenly grabbed me by the waist. He came to a stop and asked anxiously, "Are you okay? Did you sprain your ankle?" The familiar scent of fur filled my nose. It was Caleb. I frowned. How did he find me here? I steadied myself, pushed him away, and stared at him. "What are you doing here?" His lips tightened. He explained, "I paid to replace your coach. Don't be mad. I'm a good skier too. I can be your coach." I sighed. "Caleb, you know that's not what I'm asking." He was silent. His dark goggles hid his expression. He stood tall and slender on the ski slope, a solitary figure. After what felt like a long time, he finally found his voice. "Ava, I know I didn't do some things right. Your acceptance letter from Cambridge has been delivered to your house. It's exactly the same as the original. And I'll have Chloe apologize to you." He paused, then took out a check and handed it to me. "You can fill in any amount you want. It's no problem." His voice was tinged with bitterness. "Can you give my mom back that money?" I stared at him, feeling a sense of helplessness. Did he think I broke up with him just because of that one incident? I shook my head. "I don't need Chloe's apology. And I don't need your money." I sighed. "I admit, I took your mom's money partly out of spite, but I had also made my decision before I accepted her offer." I took off my goggles, revealing my eyes. I looked at Caleb, my gaze serious. "Caleb, we've been together for so long, but you've never once cared about my feelings. You favor Chloe, you let me be wronged, and you think I should just accept your defense of her, all because deep down, you think I'm not good enough for you." He opened his mouth to object, but I cut him off. "Including what you said at the party that day. Those weren't just angry words. That's what you really think, isn't it? Deep down, you believe that being with you, I'm after your status, your family's wealth, that I'll just compromise and tolerate everything, that you can be as arrogant and condescending as you want with me." Caleb, that's very hurtful, and it's very damaging to a relationship. He quickly took off his goggles, his voice trembling. "No, that's not what I think. I just don't like to give in." "I was wrong," I continued. "You were so sure I wouldn't leave you, that I wouldn't really break up with you. So you ignored my feelings for Chloe time and time again. I couldn't let you go. So I was the one who came back and asked to get back together every time. But Caleb, feelings can be worn down. Every time you wronged me, every time you deliberately got close to Chloe out of spite, my feelings for you were worn away, bit by bit. So I'm not lying to you, and I'm not throwing a tantrum." I looked him in the eye and said, enunciating each word, "I really don't like you anymore." Caleb took a sharp breath, a sudden pain flashing in his eyes. His lips moved, but no words came out. We stood facing each other in the snow for a long time, so long that the only sound was the whistling of the wind. Finally, he spoke, each word deliberate. "I'm sorry, Ava, it was all my fault. I didn't realize I had hurt you so much." I gave a low, accepting his apology. I no longer had that spark for him. No love, no resentment. He had apologized sincerely, so I accepted. A flicker of hope lit up in his eyes. "Ava, can you give me one more chance? Let me make up for my past mistakes. Ava, I will never ignore your feelings again." I smiled helplessly. "Caleb, you probably never really understood me. When I love someone, I love them with everything I have, even if I lose my dignity, even if people call me a lovesick fool. But once I stop loving them, I really stop. I have no feelings for you anymore, so there's no chance of making things up." I said firmly, "Caleb, it's impossible for us." Caleb's breath hitched. He looked like he had been struck, his eyes instantly turning red. He shook his head and grabbed my shoulders. "No, we've broken up and gotten back together so many times. Our feelings are so deep, how can they be gone? Ava, I know you're still upset, still mad at me." I cut him off. "See, Caleb, you're still being arrogant. You're always like this with me." He froze, his eyes widening slightly. Then he was consumed by a great sadness. He said softly, "I'm sorry." I pushed him away and left with my equipment. "Caleb, please don't bother me anymore. It's annoying." I didn't look back. I didn't see him standing on the ski slope, his body swaying as if he were about to collapse. He leaned against a tree, his chest heaving. Grief, like a physical thing, enveloped him, suffocating him. I left the ski resort early and booked a ticket to Inner Mongolia. I spent the entire summer traveling through Inner Mongolia and Xinjiang, and I felt completely relaxed. Caleb didn't try to find me again. When I got home, my parents told me my acceptance letter from Cambridge was in my room, waiting for me to open it. They hadn't been home when the first one arrived. so they didn't know it had been torn up. I smiled gently and nodded. For their sake, I would pretend this was the first time I was seeing it, with my parents as witnesses. I opened the package. The letter, along with various notices and souvenirs, was all there. My dad even took pictures and videos. They both happily posted on their social media and urged me to do the same. I hesitated for a moment, then did. Let the past be the past. I was starting a new chapter. On the first day of school, my parents dropped me off. I ran into Caleb at the school gate. Surprisingly, even though Chloe's university was also in Beijing, she hadn't come with him. Caleb saw me, his eyes dark. He didn't come over to bother me. At the dormitory, just as my dad was about to help me with my luggage, Caleb suddenly walked over and took it. I'll do it. My dad knew he was my classmate and happily agreed. I was silent. After school started, Caleb always seemed to be around. Not too close, but not too far. If I went to the cafeteria, he would go too. If I went to the library, he would follow. When I was in class, he would sit a short distance away. I could always feel his eyes on me. I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to apply for a study abroad program. The day the list of exchange students was announced, the pen in Caleb's hand suddenly snapped. The sharp edge cut his finger, drawing blood. A classmate next to him gasped, "Ah, you're bleeding," but he didn't seem to notice, as if he couldn't feel the pain. When Caleb's mother found out I was going abroad, she even gave me a scholarship. She said, "I was going to talk to you. It's really not good for you two to be at the same school. I didn't expect you to have already made plans." She smiled, elegant and poised. "This is a reward from me. Think of it as a scholarship. Don't refuse. If you refuse, I won't be able to rest easy." I was silent for a moment, then accepted. In the future, I would find a way to return the 500,000 and this scholarship to the Hayes family. When I got back to my dorm, Caleb was standing downstairs. I don't know how long he had been waiting. He blocked my way. His voice choked. "You really don't want to see me that much?" My reply was sharp. "Yes. Your attention makes me uncomfortable, Caleb. I hope you can accept the fact that we've broken up sooner rather than later." His face was hidden in the shadows of the building, so I couldn't see his expression. He suddenly pulled me into the shadows and hugged me tightly, his tears falling on my neck. "Ava, I was wrong. Please don't leave me. Ava, it was never you who couldn't live without me. It was me who couldn't live without you. I really know I was wrong." For someone as proud as Caleb, I knew how much it took for him to apologize to me with such vulnerability, so I didn't want to be too cold, too unfeeling in my rejection. I gently pushed him away and sighed. "Caleb, we missed our chance. Let's just both move on." "Okay, you'll get over it. This is the end for us." I walked up the steps to the dorm. I thought for a moment and turned back. "There's really no chance for us, but thank you for being with me through 3 years of high school, the happy and the sad. It's all part of the experience. I hope you can figure things out soon and stop dwelling on the past." Caleb was silent, stunned, tears streaming down his face. He opened his mouth but didn't know what to say. He finally understood how resolute I was, finally understood that I really didn't like him anymore. I turned and left, and never looked back. For him and me, this was the final goodbye. We would never meet again.